Me, Parker, and Gavin, they both joined my coaching program about a year ago and have since taken their Amazon businesses from 0 to over 100K a month each, and they did it in less than 6 months. So in this video, we're going to go through all their secrets to success. Let's get after it. What's up, Parker and Gavin? Good to have you boys here.
What's up?
How we doing?
Absolutely. So yeah, man, it's crazy how things have evolved over the past year or so, basically. But do you guys just want to bring everyone up to speed with your backgrounds in regards to selling Amazon and what you've been able to do so far? Because you guys are both two rare examples of people who have gone individually 0 to 100K a month plus in less than 6 months, basically. So pretty cool stuff. But bring everyone up to speed with your guys' background and everything.
Yeah. So my background, I started in business specifically. I started selling shoes in high school, and I ran a side hustle playing skee ball and then buying prizes and selling it for a profit. And then when I got to college, I wanted to start something more business-like. And then it was Amazon, what kind of came to my mind. So I jumped in. I started it right when I got to school at my freshman year. And then ever since, I focused on it, spent every day working on the business, and it's grown exponentially fast. So it's been good.
Yeah, literally like your first week of college, right? Like that first, like it was my birthday week. Yeah, like the first week of it is crazy, and everything too. And the cool thing is, Gavin's brother and I actually go way back in time to together with selling sneakers as well too. So it's cool how that's evolved and everything too. And you're also a former, so you dropped out of college, but you're a former college baseball player. Right. As well. So we talk all about like the pipeline of athletes to Amazon and how that translates and everything, man. How about you, Parker?
Yeah, so I was just working in medical device sales. I've been an athlete my whole life. I actually did 6 years of college baseball. So I pretty much needed to take that passion and put it into something else. And then I found Amazon, watched a lot of your content, and just kind of jumped in right away, like made my LLC that night, got everything going within like a couple of weeks. And I just took off from there, met these guys, and really just never looked back after that.
Yeah, and that's really important in terms of the taking action quick and everything too, basically. And so Parker, you're from Georgia. Gavin, you're from Indiana, right? You guys are, several years apart, basically. So, it's the kind of thing where like so few people are interested in selling on Amazon that you have no other choice. Either you're super lonely selling Amazon, or you find community, you join groups, you talk to people, for example, and everything too. And now you guys are obviously in person though together, right? So talk about the current setup, just living situation, Mike, because this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, in the Amazon community.
Yeah. So we're living, it's me, Parker, and Aaron, 0 to handle time. We got a place in Cape Coral, Florida for about 3 months for like Q4. We're heading home around Thanksgiving, but we kind of just thought like we've been working together for a year now, like talking almost every single day in group chats. We became so close. We just thought it was best. Like, why don't we just live together for a couple of months and we can talk in person throughout the entirety of the day. And it is truly paying off. It's honestly one of the best decisions we could have made. And I feel like we're making a lot more money being together in the same house. So
yeah, because for sure, right? Because you're the product of the people you're around, both digitally and more so in person in that respect, right? And it's tough to find people, IRL. But you and Aaron actually are both from India, and you guys met up in your first couple of days of knowing each other, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys hit up the outlet together and everything, which is pretty cool too. But literally, these guys met, through on Twitter in my group, for example, and just made friends. Group chats going 24/7, talking about this stuff, solving these problems together. So talk about the early days. So you both got started in August and September of 2023, right? So last year. Talk about what it was like getting those first couple initial sales and getting the ball rolling, because that's for sure the hardest part, I would say.
Yeah, it is exponentially harder to get started with this business. And I think when you get those first couple of sales, it's really just the proof of concept, right? Like if you can't get those first few sales, you're never going to believe in this. I was extremely happy my first sale. I remember it like to this day. And you find like one good product when you first start out, and that can be the difference between you quitting and you sticking this thing out. So for me, like August was only like $1,000 in sales, but just having that proof of concept and having that work ethic and believing in something that you don't need to see results right away is like the biggest thing, I think, in my opinion.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. And so you were just doing RA at the start, right? Like probably some Walmart RA, right?
Yeah. Walmart RA. I was going into like Dick's. I was going into Academy, just scanning. And I knew I probably wasn't going to find too many things, but having that mindset of, okay, I'm definitely learning something here, whether I make money or not on this like trip. You know what I mean?
Very important, man, right? Because if you can sell something, even if you break even, you can find stuff profitable, for example, and that like you can see these listings. There's like the price wouldn't be stable. 20 people wouldn't be selling them if they weren't making money on them, for example, right? And sure, you might not be able to find them at a profitable price, but clearly other people have. And if other people have, you can too. And it's a very important mental reframe. In that, like this week, I was doing some sourcing and I found this brand that I hadn't seen much, but I spent more time looking into it. And it turns out it comes from like the outlet website, for example, right? So like they have like an outlet website for the brand. The gift cards translate from the main brand website to the outlet website. And then it unlocked a ton of problems. Like, damn, like I've seen this, a decent amount. And now this seller's got 121 ASINs from this brand. Now I know how to make a majority of them good. Now they might not be good today. It might only be during the sale that happens once a month, but you get to the bottom of that over time and everything too. So a lot of former athletes or current athletes watching this, right, that are looking for a place. You said that so well. They're looking for a place to let out that raw energy, that aggression. Probably not going to get that at a medical sales job. No. Right. Probably not going to get that there. No. Right. So talk about how that does translate to the business world and everything, man, because I could not agree more. It's just getting that initial momentum to let yourself have the skill to go grab that output,
I think it's just the competitive aspect, because at the same time, like you're competing with all the sellers on this platform. And I find it extremely enjoyable to go and find and make something profitable, get something cheaper than the rest of the people know how to do. And also networking with your buddy. Like we even compete like with each other. So that adds another layer of fun into it. But I know a lot of athletes that are now selling on Amazon, and I think all of them are doing well just because it gives you that extra thing to think about daily. Like it almost gives you a reason to get out of bed, just like
that's so true, man. That is so true. Because and sorry to interrupt, but it materially has a great impact in your life. And that, like it or not, more money gives you more options, right? And that you could not go down and live in Florida with your boys, if you were doing the medical sales job. I assume not, right?
No.
Well, exactly, right. And the key is, though, it's not that you spend a bunch of time. It's not that you spend a bunch of money. It's that you build a skill that translated in a competitive marketplace that gives you, positive returns basically and everything, right? So that's like the name of the game and everything too. And Gavin, you literally like said goodbye to baseball, like literally like left college early pretty much, to run the stuff up and everything. And what's the mindset behind like leaving college based? Like what was kind of your thought process behind that?
I was just thinking more futuristic, like down the road, what do I want? Where's baseball going to take me? Where's this business going to take me? And kind of just thought them both out and went with the business. Baseball was the biggest thing that I left behind. It was hard to do, but it's working. It's paying off for sure. Like I'm enjoying myself every single day, waking up, out here in Florida, running the business I like to run. It's just a great time. It was honestly a good decision. And yeah, baseball is the hardest thing to leave behind. And yeah.
Yeah, it was what it is, though. I mean, college is always there if you need it, right? They're always they're gonna let you take out some debt if you want it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always gonna be there. A job's always gonna be there, right? And you guys obviously are in a very advantageous position, as myself included, as young men. Lack of responsibility comparatively to other people. But if you're watching this and you're in that position, now's the time to go all out into stuff, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean spend a bunch of money, but it means invest time places that can materially impact your life, and let this be permission. You guys had every reason not to go do this. Every reason not to go do this, right? Gavin, you had baseball, college baseball, your first season of it, your first week of college. Parker, you had obviously the, the job going on and everything. You had every reason to not go ahead and do it, right? So what did that look like from a time management perspective? Because that's like one of the big things, especially, college kids and everything. They, want to find reasons that they can't do stuff, which is not true, right? But talk about the time management side of things. It's a very important aspect of it,
Yeah, for me, I think I was managing really well on the weekends. And that was just kind of like what I chose to do, is work really hard on the weekends for it. Obviously, here and there during the week, I would try to work on it too. But really, like for me, I wanted to put in the time. I enjoyed doing it every single day. So for me, like it was almost like I had to pull myself away from the computer, pull myself away from the stores, rather than like, oh, I have to go do this. You know what I mean? And if you don't really enjoy it, like it's probably not going to go that well anyway.
That's very true, right? And the reason behind that, how do you enjoy it, is you get good at it. That takes time, and you do it with people you like. It literally is true, though, right? Like, what's the most fun part of high school? Hanging out with the locker room with your boys, right? Favorite part of college, all that, right? And it's so positive seeing you guys, and the way I did it with my guys, like the Buy Box Bandits, for example, right? You replicate that environment, right? And it makes it really fun. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning, right? And that if your boys are checking out the item, are you just not going to check out the item? You'd be letting them down, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we remember we used to all send videos of ourselves doing push-ups too as well. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying, right? Like it gives you a reason to go get this stuff. It's just like borderline impossible to find it in person right from the get-go, and just harder too. Everyone you want to know is on social media. You got to share what you're up to and everything, right? And you guys have done a phenomenal job then and are continuing to. So talk about what that's been like, because you guys originally, like, you found Aaron on Twitter, right, before he was even in the group.
Yeah. I found Aaron on Twitter in the DMs, and then Gavin was thrown in the group as well. But I think the biggest thing with social media is there was a point in time where I was like, okay, I had never used social media for the last 3 years. Being an athlete, you don't really want to ever be on the platform and like make a mistake or say something bad. But
which is, I had to have that also a problem and why you needed financial independence. But yeah, this is
yeah. So I had like a switch flip of like, okay, I don't care what anyone thinks. I need to get on this platform because that's what everyone's saying to do. And then I just went ahead and ripped a video on the platform and honestly got pretty good like results with way more than I expected, and realized, okay, this is not that hard to actually do. And then from there, just so many doors kept opening.
Yeah. And what does that look like though? Doors opening, like talk about what that actually looks like and what you've been able to do with that. Cause in your case, it's not just selling Amazon. It's lifelong friends. It's the opportunity to do consulting. It's the opportunity to be an affiliate for software companies, right? Significantly beyond just selling Amazon, which is still the majority of your money though, you know?
Yeah. I think that Twitter for me has been huge. Like I just got active on the platform. I like writing on there, and there has been so many doors open. Like you said, affiliate marketing, just meeting people in the business industry, like having DMs flow through all the time just to talk and have interactions of other people that actually are trying in business is so valuable itself. I think that Twitter itself has probably like profited me 6 figures just this year alone, just because I use the platform.
And now you think about it, it's like, when did you get the majority of the output from your baseball career? Probably in college, years into it, right? Yeah. And you consider it all, exactly, right? You know, it's an interesting perspective shift in that, like, everyone wants to succeed quick with selling Amazon. Now you guys did, right? Very, very few people do, for example. But like, regardless though, it's like everyone who's good at a sport, everyone who's good at a business, typically they've been doing it for a while, right? And you get like, you know, a lot of the compound interest just in general, right? Like it comes over time. So you got to give yourself some time to figure it out. You guys are only, you know, a year into the game, for example, but so many people quit in their first couple months when like they haven't given themselves a chance to go get lucky. They haven't given themselves a chance to go find a fire early Black Friday sale, for example, right? Like a bunch of those are going on right now and everything too. So tactically on the Amazon business side of things. So obviously you did not bring thousands of FBM orders down to Florida. Like talk through the setup of what that Amazon business actually looks like, because it's a far cry from what it was a year ago, which was like the garage full of product, you know, and everything. Quick interruption on the video, guys. If you want personalized one-on-one help directly from me and want to join my coaching program prior to the Q4 rush in December, we're doing the early Q4 promo, and you can save $500 off if you apply today. So go ahead and take a look at the link in the description. Go ahead and put in your information, see if you qualify. And if you do want to join my coaching program, you can save $500 off if it's something that makes sense for you. So go ahead and take a look at the link in the description, and let's get after it. Back to the video.
Yeah, so Parker and I actually share VA. We've had it for a year now, honestly. We had it in a big group, and now Parker and I just share it. So he's doing a lot of the back end stuff.
And what's a VA for anyone who's not familiar?
A virtual assistant. So he's from the Philippines. We pay him $5 an hour currently. He started off at $4. We gave him a raise. He does a great job. Hard worker. Basically, you know, whatever we don't want to do in the business, some admin stuff, we kind of just, you know, hop on with him. Shoot him a text and give him instructions on what to do for our businesses to keep weight off our shoulders. And we can spend more time going to the gym, hopping in the pool, or sourcing more products. So we share that. And then we have a prep center in place as well, where we're shipping all of our items to the prep center. So we're not seeing those items on hand. We ship it to a sales tax free state, save money there, pay the prep fee. And then they're going to ship that to the Amazon warehouse and then list it for sale. So we're not really doing as much work, obviously, as we were when we started. We leveraged it a little bit, but we do have a system in place. It's working pretty well.
Yeah, right. So that's the name of the game. And that, like, you know, if Parker told his family, yo, I'm doing retail arbitrage, I'm going into Walmart and scanning stuff, they're like, holy crap. Or most families would be like, holy crap, you're going to go do that for the next 25 years? That's not going to ever result to anything. But you take a look at what the evolved version, that little bit more mature version of that, right, is, you know, for $5-6 an hour, you can get someone full-time in the Philippines helping you with any computer-based work, right? For $1 a unit, $1.50 a unit, and no sales tax, right? You can get, a prep center in a sales tax-free state. The cool thing is I assume you guys use Max, right?
Yep.
Exactly, right? Max is another guy who's been on my channel who literally got started with the group, a year and a half ago, for example. He's changed his whole life too, right? So once again, keeping the money in the family. That's a beautiful thing right there as well, right? And, so virtual assistant, prep center, processes your inventory, right? But the key is, I know you boys are going home Black Friday, so you can feel some FBM because we're never too good for some FBM.
Nope.
Right. Exactly. Right. So break down how that's going to change, and that, like, okay, November 30th or whatever, you go home. How does the business change and why?
Yeah, so I forgot to mention, like, my parents are a big help in my business, and a shout out to them.
And the grandma too. Grandma too.
Grandma, exactly.
That's love, man.
Yep, so they're back home. They're running the shop right now. FBM orders that I've ordered a few units to the house here and there. And then they're running it right now. When I get back, I'm gonna be coming back to a lot of units, FBM as well, because Q4 you have to FBM if you want to make a lot of money. You have to FBM. So for me personally, I'm going to come back to thousands of units waiting for me to sell in December. And
yeah, for me, I think last year, one of the things that really benefited my business was being able to go in store and flip things over every single day. There was a time from like December 1st through the 5th that I was just driving to retail stores every single day, and the inventory would sell before I even got home. So when you're turning it over that quickly, you can send in the FBA like now or a little bit earlier than now, and then the rest you can just FBM it. You can get it out so quickly that you're turning over your money faster than any other thing that I've ever seen before, honestly.
Yes, exactly, right? So let's break that down. So a normal online arbitrage purchase, right? So today is November 11th, right? So getting close to too late for FBA shipments for the year, but regardless, let's say compared to any other time, right? So it's November 11th. On average, an OA purchase is going to take 4 to 7 days to get to you, right? And then 1 to 3 weeks to check into FBA. And that's assuming you ship it out instantly, which, we're all really, about it, right? We're driven here, so we're turning shit over quick, right? But regardless, right? It might take a couple days, which is completely normal, right? Compare that to an FBM purchase, right? Merchant fulfilling, shipping directly to the customer. You get that in 4 to 7 days. You might sell that same day. Or what Parker's talking about, going in and doing retail arbitrage and literally, rather than waiting 3 weeks for an OA order to check into FBA, picking it up same day, getting it listed same day, restocking it the next day, you learn a lot quicker, and that skyrockets your cash flow. You de-risk yourself. You beat the market. You beat your competition to market, right? And that's a big benefit. But the key is, you weren't just going in and scanning stuff. You knew what to look for, right? So there's a big caveat between retail arbitrage, go in and scan stuff, versus retail arbitrage, show up, tell the app you're here for the pickup order, the people bring it out to you, and then you leave. It's a significantly different story. And I've literally known a retail store has stuff. I've put it in pickup order, aka kind of like escrow, for example, right? It's sitting there in pickup order, which is, by the way, if y'all are this late in the video, it's a really, really good way to get proof of concept for free. You can cancel the pickup order if you ever want to, so you don't spend any money, but you can list stuff while it's in pickup order when it's confirmed, right? I've literally had pickup orders, sold the inventory FBM, driven to the retailer, and then driven to the post office. That's perfect. The inventory never even saw the garage. For example, and everything too. So that's the big thing is, man, because during Q4, the FBA warehouses get so backed up, for example, right? You have no choice but either wait a ton of time for inventory to check in or just FBM it, which takes a little bit more time per order. But if you consider how much quicker you actually learn, you actually save a bunch of time, in my opinion. Right. So talk about scaling up FBM in December, especially because that's the biggest time of the year. And it's completely reasonable to do 20, 30, 40, 50% of your profit for the entire year just in December. So talk further about that. Cause I could jam on this, all day.
Yeah, I honestly think that enjoyment of scaling FBM is really where the blood, sweat, and tears of the business is built.
And all your boys are doing it too. So, it's a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody's loving it. They're sending pictures to each other. You got all these poly bags that you're packing up, which actually doesn't take too much time.
Not at all, because it's less SKUs too, man. It's, if you're selling 500 to one item, that's one. You can pre-package them, right? Sorry to interrupt again. But once again, it's another big benefit of FBM. And during December is volume skyrockets on stuff, right? So you need way less SKUs than you think you do. Yeah, but rant about it.
Basically what I do is I bulk print the labels. So I'll go ahead and print them all out, and then I'll write on the back of them what they are. Then I'll just slap them on there, pack all the poly bags. And then I'm doing USPS pickups. They'll come to your house every single day besides Sunday, and they'll come pick those up. And then with UPS, you can also do pickups too, or you can I have these Amazon packing bags that I usually do, and I have 2 of those. I actually paid an Amazon delivery guy $20 and he just gave it to me. So those have been huge. And then, just getting stuff out every single day. It kind of becomes a habit. Like, you get used to it. You're going to the post office every single day. You build it into your schedule, and then you just keep it moving.
Yeah, right. And the reason you put in that extra work is because it's so much extra money once you get good at it. You know what I mean? And it might be hard to think of doing that right now, but like, you know what I mean? You'll do it for the right amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, what's the most amount of FBM orders you guys have ever each individually done in one day? Like orders on your store, not shipping stuff out, because weekends obviously you have to do a ton on the Monday.
I think I hit 350.
I've done 520.
Yeah,
520. Exactly right, dude. And that's the crazy thing. It's like some people are just out here trying to get your first sale, which is how you get started. You know what I mean? I think my record's like 1,300, so it might be 1,400. So yeah, like, and that's the key, is that's where you get into the danger territory of like, will the post office even take this?
Yeah. Driving around to the bag.
And like, you know, actually getting stuff scanned and everything too. So like my FBM routine, this is like at the peak, for example, right? Is I'd go to the warehouse at 7 a.m., hit a bunch of orders, do the first pickup at 8, then do a drop off at 11, then do a drop off at 5, for example, too. Because it literally gets to the point, if you're on fast moving ASINs that are selling thousands a month, like volume, like 2.5x's in December, I think minimum is kind of the way I think about it, right? But many listings more than that. And it also depends on competition relative to the market and stuff too, right? And everything. But yeah, like, you know, you just gotta, you know, you just do the work, right? Because it's so much extra money. You learn a lot quicker too. So what'd you guys each do profit wise in December?
I did 20,000 profit last December.
Me too. About
right around there. Yeah, exactly. Right. And y'all probably don't even feel like you know much. You know what I mean? Seeing with how many things you could have done better and everything. And you're so new to the business world, myself included too. It's a major blessing and everything. So what are you telling to the beginner sellers that are struggling to find profitable items? Like, how do we think about that? Because that's like definitely the hardest part, I feel like, for all of us is like, okay, the sales rank's low on this, but how the heck do I make any money?
Yeah. I mean, I would say if you can put yourself in a group and talk in that group every day for 2 weeks, you will not run out of leads, in my opinion. If you're with the right group of guys and you guys hop on Discord every night, a group of 6 people or so, and you're sharing ideas, brands, websites, all that stuff, and do it every day for 2 weeks, I can guarantee you will not run out of leads.
Yeah, and remember, Aaron just used to hang out in voice chat for like hours. Yeah, we're like, that's the way. And it's hard to find those locked in people, but it's not when you're posting on Twitter every day, right? It's actually very easy to do it, right? Because people got no other choice but to watch your stuff. But yeah, right. So for example, so people to do it with is huge, right? And then just overall tactically making the numbers work. So like, for example, it's a whole bunch of ways, right? So like, every retailer is going to have a combination of some of these, right? So like, let's talk to these boys. So like tax exempt, right? For OA and RA, right? Discounted gift cards, right? You guys rock with discounted gift cards?
Yep.
What sites? What gift card providers?
Card Depot and GCX.
Cool. And use Card Bear, which is an aggregator of a bunch of those. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, Card Cash is dope too. But use Card Bear because it aggregates all those, right? Coupon codes via Capital One Shopping and Coupon Birds, right? So there's a couple free extensions you guys can use that'll pop up different coupons. It's very helpful too, right? Early Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday sales. You'd be shocked how many times those combine. I found a great early Black Friday sale where it's a BOGO deal on the website, but the 20% sign up also works. And there's gift cards. So it's like I'm paying nothing compared to the people that aren't thinking of those discounts. No wonder a bunch of stuff is going to be good for me. For example, too, you know, like obviously it's going to be right when you're paying 40% less than everyone else. For example, too, I know it's price matching vibes too as well. Yeah, it's great match too. And then sometimes you got to negotiate with the employees locally, man. See if you can put on that, you know, extra discount and everything. That is shows on the retailer, but like how many people are afraid to go ahead and ask for that? A lot. And that's why the money's waiting for you, you know, if it is and everything. So Q4 timeline here. So right now we're in early Black Friday sales season, right? November 15th to like the 25th or so, there's not that many good sales. Now, there are going to be this year because Black Friday is later, for example, but relative, right? Not as many. November 24th is the Sunday before Black Friday. That's when a ton of sales turn on, right? So you got to make sure you got your poly mailers from Amazon ready, 9x12, 12x15. You got to make sure you have your boxes ready from Walmart or Uline. Don't worry about that if you don't have sales, though. If you have sales, you're going to Walmart, you'll figure it out, right? And then Black Friday sales kick off the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And then what would you say is like the peak of the entire year? I'd personally say like December 5th to the 20th, for example.
I would agree those dates right there.
17th, like December 5th through like the 17th.
Exactly. Yeah. So it completely agree right on that. Yeah, completely agree. And the key too with that is that it's when you have your best stuff in stock. So theoretically, you could have a phenomenal December and not even find good listings till like December 14th. But you might be willing to go put in the extra hours and go put in long hours at the outlets or go do a ton of pickup orders or cover some extra ground on RA wise and go to some other stores, for example. Right? And your best days are when you have the best stuff in stock, right? And also another underrated component of that too is like everyone talks about Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, but a lot of the same inventory is actually more profitable buying into December because if it's a 25% Black Friday sale, that ends, but you can use a 15% coupon code that's around forever, but the item's selling for 20% more or 25% more or 40% more, which happens all the time, right? You're more profitable buying in December, and it probably sells quicker in December too, but you test right now. For example, and everything too. So specifically on the Q4 side of things, if you could go back and give yourself like a playbook in retrospect to yourself a year ago, like what are you telling newer sellers going into their first Q4?
One thing that you have to do is juice up the expedited orders too. I know we talked about FBM, and the big plus side of FBM is getting those expedited orders because come mid-December, you're going to get a bunch. I'd say like if you can get 10% expedited orders, 5 to 10%, that's all boosting your profit margin like crazy, especially
if you're shipping same day, man. And Amazon's charging you 12, but you charge the customer 30. Exactly. Right. So what's the shipping template people should have, or what do you guys specifically have?
So my expedited is 35. My 2-day is 55, and my 1-day is 65.
Have they ever said anything about it being too high?
No.
It's weird. They police it differently for some sellers, and it's not tragic if they say it's too high, but they police it differently for some sellers. It's weird. Yeah.
But to be specific, like the 1-day is $64.99 to get that little.
Yeah, so the conversion rate boost. Yeah, exactly. Right. And everything. And the key is, so the way that breaks down, guys, is so I recommend charging free shipping for standard and economy orders just because like you're not paying the FBA fees. So it ends up being about the same cost. So like there's no difference in pricing really that you have to do. But then when customers want it quicker, which happens more and more as we get into December, you want to make sure it's like 1 day, 2 day, next day, or 1 day, 2 day expedited, right? You're charging a lot. For example, I recommend just do the standardized like 30, but if you're watching this deep in the video, you're very serious about this. You should probably just use the one Gavin said, for example, too, right? Because if you're this late in the video, you're pretty serious about the stuff. And then you can increase it in December because people need the product quicker. Right. So they're willing to pay more, for example, too. I posted this meme on Twitter. It was like this lady saying like, I'll take it Friday instead. Cause it was like deliver on Wednesday for $750 extra or deliver on Friday for free. It was like a god tier shipping template. Like obviously like no one's going to buy specifically right there, but pretty cool stuff. Right. And how about you, Parker? Like what else you guys telling to yourself a year ago or just newer sellers watching this in respect to Q4 success?
I think just document it because we actually had a sale this year that Gavin ran last year, but now we have that knowledge and more capital, and it's going to be a game changer for us. So I would say like make spreadsheets with SellerAmp because you're going to be able to look on those same sales. And I have a few spreadsheets as well for like a sale that comes up at the end of the month that I made last year, and that will just compound and makes things so much easier. And the brands really start to stack on top of each other. Like you learn one brand, you start doing well with it, you learn another brand, and it just compounds year after year. So I would just say like document all the sales and when they started so you remember next year.
Yeah, so document internally in respect to like super tactical stuff, and then document your personal journey on social media, which is going to attract good people in your life because basically no one finds cool Amazon sellers walking down the street. Right? No Amazon seller looks like an Amazon seller just walking down the street, for example, right? There's no like archetype specifically, but like I can guarantee the people you want to know are on social media. They're watching this video and they're in the comments of this video. They follow Gavin and Parker on Twitter, right? So just go on and follow as many Amazon sellers as you can. That costs you no money. And if you're really serious about it, you'll learn a lot quicker and you'll have a lot more fun finding cool sellers to work with. And you do that by attracting them publicly on social media and building digital leverage. Right. And everything. So y'all have done a phenomenal job of that. Scroll back on Gavin's page, scroll back on Parker's page, scroll back on my Instagram to 2019. I've been doing it almost 6 years. And you could see when like my second month on Amazon, I did 2K in sales. How many people quit whose second month was way better than my second month, for example, right? But you figured it out and everything over time. Where can people follow you guys on social media if they want to see more of your guys' stuff?
At Gavin FBA for me on all platforms.
Yep. At Parker BDR as well.
Yep. So y'all check him out right there. I finally pointed the correct way at the right time there. So yeah, if you guys are interested in formal help, take a look at the link in the description, do a little sale pre Q4 because I want to incentivize you to join now so you can take full advantage of Q4 and everything. Make sure you follow these boys. Y'all gonna have a bunch of good content out there for Q4. Super proud of you guys. Glad to know you. If you're really this far in the video, these guys actually stayed at my house last month when the big hurricane hit. They came over to Miami and stayed at your boy's crib and everything. So once again, another cool part of selling Amazon, but super glad to know y'all. Appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have questions, let us know in the comments. Check out these boys on socials and we'll see y'all on the next one. Take it easy, fellas.
Appreciate
it, Miles.
Hope this video is helpful, guys. Make sure you follow Gavin and Parker on social media. If you want the $500 off my coaching program for the Q4 special, take a look at the link in the description. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.